Cleveland, Tennessee native C.L. Hardwick would have considered himself to be an ordinary man, but others considered him extraordinary due to his determination and manufacturing ideas. Hardwick founded two manufacturing businesses in his hometown during the 19th century. In 1879, he established Hardwick Stove, followed by Cleveland Woolen Mills. Hardwick put his two sons in control of the businesses. Joseph H. Hardwick ran Hardwick Stove, while George L. Hardwick ran the clothing company. After establishing Hardwick Stove, Hardwick had another dream of starting a woolen mill in his hometown of Cleveland, Tennessee. Other businessmen told him his dream would be a failure in a small southern town. He believed in his dream and moved forward with four partners to establish Cleveland Woolen Mills in 1880. The woolen mill would become the life of the town. The business started in a two-story frame building with about 20 employees, most of whom were women and young boys. It was hard work. The mill was open 5 days per week from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. In 1882, Cleveland Woolen Mills made the largest single business transaction for that time in East Tennessee. The huge $60,000 order had to be shipped out of the little town in 4 railroad cars. During the 1880s, fires became the enemy of the woolen mills. Each fire caused financial devastation, and Hardwick was abandoned by his partners. Instead of giving up on his dream, he rebuilt and expanded the operations. He hired more employees, purchased more raw materials, and turned on the steam. The Cleveland Woolen Mills took on a new life and became more and more successful. In 1889, C.L. Hardwick suffered the greatest loss of his life when his son, John M. Hardwick, was killed in a railroad accident in Virginia. The Hardwick family was heartbroken, but Hardwick continued to invest in his hometown. By 1893, the mill ran both day and night to keep up with the orders. Among the high-quality garments produced were plain jeans, fancy jeans, convict stripes, pants, coats, overalls, and drawers. This was a time of great expansion and prosperity for the mill. C.L. Hardwick died in 1901, leaving his son George Lee Hardwick president of the woolen mill. In 1904, the new president was challenged when fire totally consumed the business. Without hesitation, George Hardwick and the employees cleared the charred debris and did not let C.L. Hardwick's dream die. A new 4-story brick building with all of the most modern mill equipment was built. Within 2 years, the Cleveland Woolen Mills was widely known for its dollar jeans made from a durable material invented at the Cleveland Woolen Mills. Eventually, the mill began diversifying and started producing high-quality men's suits. In 1925, the name was changed to Hardwick Woolen Mills. The mill became unique in the fact that they produced a wide variety of garments, from the raw wool to the finished products. One of the popular sayings to wholesalers was, "From the sheep's back to your clothing rack." Hardwick Woolen Mills was living the dream as it became the largest manufacturer of men's clothing in the world. Once again, hardship reappeared in the form of the Great Depression. Hardwick Woolen Mills survived when most failed by making their own raw materials and having the garments assembled in local homes. The home assembly method was used until 1934, when sewing rooms were set up in the plant. The mill prospered until the start of World War II. Hardwick Woolen Mills survived the war years by manufacturing military clothing and wool blankets. After the war, great changes came to the clothing industry when many synthetic fabrics were invented. In 1951, the Hardwick family decided to sell the woolen mill to Peerless Woolen Mills. The company then began to make garments from the newly invented materials and changed the name to Hardwick Clothes. By the late 1950s, Hardwick Clothes was making men's suits, sport coats, slacks, and began national consumer advertising. In the 1960s, the Hardwick blazer became a staple of stylish American men, and it was selected as the official blazer of the World Series of Golf. Business boomed in the late 1960s, and Hardwick Clothes was named Menswear Manufacturer of the Year. In 1974, the Hardwick family moved Hardwick Clothes from the old buildings on Church Street to a modern facility in Cleveland's Industrial Park. On July 28, 1980, as Hardwick Clothes celebrated 100 years in business, it continued to be recognized as a leader in the clothing industry. C.L. Hardwick's dream was alive and well. The next 30 years proved to be challenging for Hardwick Clothes. The acceptance of casual clothing in the business world and the loss of business to overseas manufacturers proved costly to the one-time leader of the industry. In the 134th year of the business, it appeared that C.L. Hardwick's dream might slip away. Since the days of C.L. Hardwick's dream of starting a clothing company in his hometown, the company has been a survivor. It has survived 2 destructive fires, 2 world wars, the Great Depression, leisure suits, NAFTA, and worst of all, having Americans watch China make our U.S. Olympic team blazers. Once again, with assistance, Hardwick Clothes has beaten the odds and is ascending from the ashes of hardship. The future success of the business has transferred to someone outside of the Hardwick family for the very first time in 134 years. The company has been acquired by another dreamer and successful entrepreneur, Alan Jones, a man whose family members have called Cleveland, Tennessee home for nearly 2 centuries. Jones enters the clothing business with the dream and determination to produce the best blazer in the world in his hometown. His dreams include adding new officers and keeping the loyal employees. Hardwick Clothes and its employees are now convinced they can survive anything. C.L. Hardwick's dream of having a world-class business in his small hometown continues.